To cold brew. I had to start mixing in a little bit milk. I get a lot of acid reflux. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just getting older. Shout out to life. Today I want to talk about buying a camera in 2023. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why this is the best budget camera you could buy for any beginner in 2023. Let's jump into it. So for the last year now, I've currently been using the Sony ZV-E10. I've come to really enjoy this camera. Honestly, it's super cheap for what you get out of it. I'm really surprised of how good the quality is, the build was. I kind of want to dive into this camera, why I genuinely feel like this is the best bang for your buck. Reason number 1, video. The video on it is super awesome. You can get 4K 30 frames per second, 4K 24 frames per second, which most of my videos I shoot in 24 frames per second. I don't really do a lot of slow-mo shots, so yes, if you're shooting sports, it may not be for you. If you're, trying to shoot cars or anything super fast, maybe like wildlife photography, might not be for that. But if you're doing at-home videos like this, or I do shoot jiu-jitsu videos, so those are pretty fast-paced moving. I really don't mind with the 30 frames per second. I can still get good quality stuff. The video footage is super clean. Once you learn how to, manipulate your colors, get lighting down, all the basic fundamentals of doing video, the video is super awesome. So that is reason number 1 why I feel like this camera is awesome. Let's jump into reason number 2. Reason number 2, the photos. The photos come out pretty solid. I've really had no issues with this camera in regards to photos. I've taken it to Flagstaff. I've taken trips, to Sedona. I've taken photos of my family, friends, jiu-jitsu, using the burst mode. I will say that, like I said, it's not necessarily a sports camera. You're not going to get the high burst. You do get a burst mode, but you can tell it's a little bit slower. So that is kind of a downfall to it. But again, you're paying $500 for a camera, so it is what it is. That's reason number 2. The photos are pretty solid. You really can't beat it. You still get raw photos, and as long as you know how to edit in Lightroom, you're pretty much ready to go. Option number 3, multiple lens options. Look, one thing I do genuinely enjoy about Sony is that you do get multiple lens options. When you shoot with Canon, you can, really only use Canon lenses. Nothing wrong with that. Personally, it's just not for me. I don't want to buy a lens, a speed booster, and then a camera on top of that. It is what it is. And there's so many options out there nowadays for lenses. That's the reason why I like Sony, is because you can use Tamron lenses, Sigma lenses, some cheap little lens that you found from a long time ago. The mount on it is so versatile. And if you're starting off on a crop sensor lens, you can even use those lenses on your full frame cameras, and vice versa. So it makes it very versatile. The multiple lens options saves you money in the long run because Sigma has really awesome glass, so does Tamron. And obviously it's cheaper, but you still get quality stuff. I'm currently shooting on a Sigma. I don't really use this feature that much. Besides when I am streaming, I never really use it for like a webcam. But if you're streaming or webcamming, or if you're in a Zoom meeting or anything like that, you can use this camera. You can set it up, and you can get quality footage. If you're in a work meeting and you want to look professional, somewhat like this, or just set up your camera and plug it in and do a live recording on YouTube, you can do that. And the good thing about it too is that it does not have a record limit. So shout out to Sony and its non-record limits. So that's super awesome, and I love that about Sony. So if you ever start a podcast, you can always use that too. So shout out to that. That's reason number 4. Reason number 5. This is one thing I genuinely love about this camera, is that it has SLOG 3. A lot of people on the Sony, the Sony ecosystem, when it comes to the lower end cameras like this or the 6400, a lot of people use SLOG 2 for a fair reason. You don't get as much, dynamic range. You don't get enough data, so when you're putting in that SLOG 3, things can get a little janky. I have a A7 IV, so when I learned how to use my SLOG 3 LUTs and everything like that and how to color correct, honestly, jumping back to my ZV-E10, it really worked out. I haven't had any issues with it personally. I still think the footage is still quality, just like you're looking at now, so I still think that's awesome. And honestly, at this point, I have no ill will, I have no strife. SLOG 3, it's awesome for people who want to get into videos, and the reason why I say this is because SLOG 3 is kind of the baseline for Sony. I know a lot of people use the different, HLG, there's cinema, whatever, and all the other stuff. I feel like once you learn SLOG 3, and even if you're doing it at this budget and you're still a beginner and you're still learning it, and if you get good at it, on your $500 camera, imagine when you're at your $3,000 camera. You'll be solid. So that's why I genuinely like this for number 5. Those are my 5 reasons why I feel like this is just such a great beginner camera. I'm shooting on it currently, so you can kind of see what you get out of it. It looks really good. So shout out to that. A shout out to YouTube. Don't buy it before you watch this video, because I feel like every time I watch YouTube videos, I have like very specific questions, and these are the questions that I feel like I wouldn't have known until I bought this camera. So that's why I did it. The video quality looks awesome, photos look awesome, multiple lens options, webcam footage, and then you can also stream, a no record limit, and then SLOG 3. So shout out to that, shout out to the gang. I hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, do what you do, and I'll catch you on the next time.